Right, well, we're going to produce a series of videos now covering how to obtain the best vision sphere, and then how to do binocular balancing. Then we're going to be looking at the cross-sill technique, and after that we're going to be looking at the fan and block, which is an alternative method for assessing and correcting astigmatism, and it's one that's quite useful to know. It's not often used in practice these days, but I think it's still something that would be useful to know as a backup to the cross-sill. So we're now going to begin a sight test, and we've got a patient this time, and the first thing you do is you take a case history. So before you begin the examination, we need to ask a few questions, find out a little bit about them, about any medical conditions that they may have, any visual problems they may have. The things that we're interested in is sort of glaucoma, whether there's any family history of glaucoma or diabetes. So we need to spend a few minutes just asking some questions and getting a little bit of an idea of their situation and any concerns they have. Now, I've spoken with this patient and I've found out that he is short-sighted. So that will help me now to know how to best begin this procedure of assessing his best vision sphere. So we need to put the trial frame on him, and I've already set the trial frame up to a 64mm PD, which I've already measured. What we're going to do now is we're going to occlude the left eye, because we're going to just do each eye monocularly first of all. So I'm going to ask the patient first of all, without anything in the frame, just to tell me how far down the chart he's able to see without anything in the trial frame.
I can see the top 3 rows and just about read the 4th row.
Okay.
TNX, so it's a bit blurred though.
So unaided, he's seeing around about 618, so he is sort of fairly myopic, fairly short-sighted. I'm going to occlude now the left eye, and I'm going to find out what he's able to see with just his right eye without any lenses in the trial frame.
I can only see the top row now.
Right, so his vision has actually got a lot worse with just his right eye, and he can only see literally 660 with the right eye, so he's perhaps a little bit more myopic in the right eye than he is with the left eye, but we will find out how things progress. So a good thing to do now is to try him with a pinhole. So we're going to place the pinhole in, because we're going to just see whether that improves his vision, and it will tell us if he has refractive error or not in this eye, or if there's some other problem with that eye.
Yeah, so I can see the top 3 rows now and probably the 4th.
Okay.
Quite easily, yeah.
So that pinhole has brought him down 4 lines on the chart, which says to me that he has got refractive error, that we can help his vision with a pair of glasses. So we're going to now start to put lenses into the trial frame, and because I know that he's short-sighted, I know that I don't need to start with that initial +1 that we used to refer to before. Remember that the 2 things that we need to try and be concerned about is accommodation, so we need to keep the accommodation as relaxed as possible, and the other issue is astigmatism, which we are going to be assessing later on. But because I know that this patient is short-sighted, we're going to go straight in with the minus lenses. Now, he only sees 660 with this eye unaided, so I can start fairly strong. So I'm going to just start with a -2 to begin with, and we'll just see how he sees with the -2 sphere in place. So Alan, can you tell me now whether that, first of all, does that make a big improvement?
That's a big improvement. I can read the top 3 lines easily and the 4th line fairly easily, and part of the 5th line.
Right, so he can see right down to 6.9 with the -2. I think that we could go a bit stronger than that, so I'm going to replace that now with a -3, and we'll see what that does. So we're going to put a -3 in there. And does that make any improvement?
That's a big improvement. I can read all the chart. I think it's not absolutely perfect, but I can read the bottom line. I think.
Okay.
Which OUTXHF.
So with -3, we've got them right down to the bottom of the chart. So that's very good. We now need to fine tune the prescription a little bit. So I'm just going to offer up maybe an 050 on top of that to see whether that makes any improvement. Now remember, when we're finding the best vision sphere, we don't want to over minus them, because if we over minus them, they'll start to accommodate, and we want to keep that accommodation nice and relaxed. So Alan, can you just, looking at the charts, can you tell me whether the bottom line looks clearer, or is it just a little bit darker and perhaps smaller when I place this lens in front of it? Does it actually sharpen it up, or is it better without?
It is sharper with it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
that's sharper.
that is better.
Yeah.
Right. So we're now looking at -350. So let's put -350 into the trial frame. So that's -350, and we're going to try maybe just another 025 on top of that to see whether those letters, Alan, can you tell me whether they look sharper or just a little bit darker?
Could you do it again? It's very marginal. If you do it one more time. I would say it doesn't really make any difference.
No difference.
Yeah.
Okay. So normally we would then stop at that point because we don't want to over minus him. But we're now going to use the Durachrome just to see whether that will help us to fine tune to make sure that we get to that best vision sphere. So I'm going to now turn the Durachrome on, and I'd like you, Alan, now to look at those targets in the red and the green. And can you tell me if the targets look sharper in one or the other?
It's very close, actually, but I think the green is very slightly bolder and clearer. But it's hard to tell the difference, really.
Okay, so
It's very slight.
right, if the green is slightly sharper, and we are looking at the round circles in the color, that's what we need to assess whether one is sharper than the other. If the green is slightly, we can add just a little bit of plus. So I'm going to just offer up an 025 plus 025 just to see whether that equalizes the targets in the Durachrome. So can you tell me whether that just equalizes those?
Yeah, I'd say now the red is very slightly stronger. So
Okay.
it's almost reversed them, but it's very marginal. They're both
Right.
close to being equal.
So red is slightly...
Yeah,
it's
now green is very slightly.
Right, so that's an 025 is causing him to switch between the red and the green. Well, as we know, we don't want to over minus, so I think what we'll do is to put the best vision sphere in there as a -325. So we're going to change that now for a -325, and we will assume that to be the best vision sphere. Great. Okay, so that's the right eye done, and now we're going to have a look at the left eye and do the same procedure for the left.